Welcome back to ADHD Whiskey. My name is Matt, and tonight I'm answering a question that I've been asked probably at least, at a very minimum, 10 times. Maybe even 12. Could be a baker's dozen, or even 16. It's not like the biggest question on the planet. It's not like how to solve global swarming or anything. The question that was raised was, Matt, how does Kentucky Owl Bourbon Batch 10 compare to Bourbon Batch 9? Time to compare the bottles on these birds. Batch 9 is in my left hand. Batch 10 is in my right hand. The bottles are the same bottle. The label is the same label, but the label placement is different. On the Batch 10, they moved the label south about a half inch, 3/4 of an inch maybe. They moved it down a little bit. Definitely something, probably the best looking bourbon bottle on the planet. Just gorgeous. Look at them. Look at them. They're amazing looking. I don't know which one looks better. One of them says Batch 9, the other says Batch 10. Wait a minute. The bottom label did change. On Batch 9 it says bottled in Bardstown, Kentucky. Batch 10 just says bottled by Kentucky Owl LLC. Oh no, different. It's different. Batch 9 is Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey bottled in Bardstown, Kentucky. Batch 10 is Kentucky Straight Bourbon Whiskey bottled in La Cassine, Los Angeles. That's probably not right. La Cassine, Louisiana. Interesting. I did not notice that before now. So weird how I am so observant today. They both have a government warning, so you know that you've been warned. Batch 9 comes in at 127.6 proof. Batch 10, 120.2 proof. Enough blabbing from the fat man with the Kentucky Owls in his hands. Let's pour these birds and then determine which bird gets the last word in today's head-to-head Kentucky Owl Bourbon Skirmish. Kentucky Owl Bourbon Batch 9. America is going in glass labeled 10 because when I first tasted Kentucky Owl Bourbon Batch 9, I would have awarded it a 10 out of 10, which makes total sense to me. Squeaky squeak. And Batch 10, America. So mixing them up. Don't know which one is which. Over the top, off to the side, put one on my head. Like I'm almost dropped it. Oh, that would have been terrible. My heart skipped a beat. That's not good for the heart that size to do. I have successfully confused myself. I've got them both capped to capture the aromas inside. But while the aromas are accumulating, it's in. That's gonna get me in big trouble. That was very loud. Expecting a text message any second now to find out what I did. From my understanding, Dixon over at Kentucky Owl isn't blending these batches to be a consistent flavor profile. Each batch is unique and different, from what I understand. So it's not like we're comparing a George T. Stagg from one year to a George T. Stagg of the previous year, which typically vary in proof but share the same flavor profile. Glass number 1. Whoa, that hit me right in the face with an oaky tobacco. Wow, what the heck? The nose on here is tremendous. It is oaky, fruity, tobacco-y, and a bit of nutty. Whoa. Okay. I can't even imagine. Okay, that's like one of my favorite. That's the best. That smells so damn good. I don't think I've ever got this off of a Kentucky Owl product before, but I definitely feel like I'm getting some banana on here, which is strange. Never before have I got banana on the nose of an owl. It's like a vanilla banana, like a sweet banana with vanilla. A little bit of cherry. It's like a cherry vanilla banana ice cream inside of an oak container, a frozen number 4 charred oak container. Let's go in for a sip on glass number 1. What on earth is happening? It's like a chocolatey fruit, like a chocolate covered fruit up front. But what fruit? I can't really tell, but it's sweetness up front. And then like the oak, like delicious charred oak tannins kind of zip back on or along your jawline, up to the back of the mouth where the old dangly thing lies. And it is a spicy, oaky, tobacco-y, glorious, oily, complex, delicious grenade of flavor. Glass number 2. Different. Really different. This is more red fruits. Almost like a red licorice. Almost like a red licorice on the nose. There's still a little bit of nuttiness coming through on here as well. A brighter nose than the first glass. This one is more red fruits and sweet oak, where the other glass was charred oak and tobacco. Man, swirl. Let's give it a swirl. Let's give it the old swirl ski. Let's get this owl dizzy. Spin it up. Spin it up. Both of the noses are very good. Like super good. Wow. Okay. It smells so familiar. Glass 2 smells so familiar. Every time, oh, this is so weird. Every time I smell the second glass, it changes. It's changing in front of my face. Definite cherry. I think I might like the nose of that better than the nose of the first one. This nose is a little bit brighter. It's a little bit fruitier. And it's a little bit sweeter smelling. And the first glass is like an oak cherry cola. I don't know if I can pick a winner on the nose. I can't tell which nose I like more. That's an oily bugger. It's an oaky, oily bugger. Like if you smeared chocolate all over a barrel stave and then relit it on fire again. Back to glass number 2. That nose. The impact that both of these have on your senses is a little overwhelming. I will pick a winner. I'll do it. I promise I will. Fun fact. Kentucky Owl Bourbon Batch 9 is like what I consider to be the super heavyweight champion of my YouTube channel. Nothing has ever went head to head against Kentucky Owl Bourbon Batch 9 in a head to head and won. Kentucky Owl Bourbon Batch 9 has always won every time. I think I like the nose on glass 2 more. The more I go back and forth and smell them, I love the nose of both of them, but glass 2 makes me smile a little bit more when I smell it. It's because it's unique and changing. It's like the nose on glass 2 is a bit more complex, I believe. It's changing and it's just wonderful. So I gotta give the nose to glass number 2. Wow. I'm really loving glass number 2. To me and my palate, glass number 2 is what I would consider to be almost perfect. The first glass reminds me of like an old saloon. You kick open the door on an old saloon and you walk in and you're like, give me the best bourbon whiskey you have. And they're like, we only have one, and it is the best. And they pour it inside of your glass, and it totally kicks ass. If I was in the market for a Kentucky Owl bourbon and I walked into a store and I saw a batch 9, I would buy it. If I was in the market for a Kentucky Owl bourbon and I walked into a store and I saw a batch 10, I would buy it. If I walked into a store and I was in the market for one Kentucky Owl bourbon and on the shelf in front of me were 2 bottles, a batch 9 and a batch 10. Right there. And I could only pick one. I would choose glass number 2, which is the glass labeled number 10, which is Kentucky Owl Bourbon Batch 9. Still undefeated. That answers the question. So, no more questions about it. I just answered it. My name is Matt. This is ADHD Whiskey, and like I always say, keep your head in the clouds, but your mind on making videos by yourself in a basement. Just sitting there in a very uncomfortable chair, staring at a camera that you're not sure that if it's in focus or not. Comparing two $300 bourbons side by side. Asking yourself, you're like, what am I doing with my life? It's lovely and great. I love it. But how did this even come about? I guess now I'm the guy who just drinks $300 bourbons next to each other and tells you which one is better. Cool. All right. Good night, y'all. Party on, owl. Party on, owl.